If you ever feel like you're completely stuck in life, like you're just banging your head against a brick wall, or like you're running around like a chicken with his head cut off, this video is gonna be for you. Hey there, I'm Michael, and for years and years I struggled with a lot of issues with confidence, with self-esteem, with getting nothing at all done. And over the course of about a decade, I managed to build my up into a person I can be proud of. And so what I want to do in this video is give you 4 actionable lessons that I learned from the video game Dark Souls. And this is going to help you to be your best self rather than you being that KFC dinner, that chicken with his head cut off. So the first thing that you need to be aware of is failure. In Dark Souls, you better get used to seeing that screen of "you died." In life, the equivalent of that is trying something and striking out completely. Doing something new and then failing utterly. Trying and trying and trying and trying. And then maybe your 50th attempt will actually work. So I remember when I was playing Dark Souls for the first time, the second or third boss, the Minotaur, that took me literally 3 hours of constant attempts to get by. But what do? You push through. Imagine if I said after 2 attempts, well, this is not working out. Guess I'll just restart the game and try again like that. And then I could repeat the same process until I get to the Minotaur boss, and then I'm stuck again. But so many people do this. In real life, right now, I'm facing the same damn issue. Because I am good at creating. I am good at telling a story, or at least I think I do. What I'm terrible at is getting people to see it, to know how to promote and market myself. And so when I'm on YouTube, I see all of these videos. Oh, try dropshipping, try e-commerce, try starting an AI agency, go and do TikTok professionally. And I see all of these shiny objects, and they are tempting as fuck. And that is because in my current business with YouTube, I have reached a ceiling, a skill deficiency that I don't yet know how to overcome. And when I switch to something else, I can do level 1, 2, 3, 4, which are things that I know how to set up, like setting up a website, like setting up a business, creating a logo, creating content. But then once I have done those things in the other shiny object, I would get to the same skill level of not knowing how to promote myself properly. And so what most people do is they go from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. And I fail at all of them because I don't realize the common factor is their own skill level. And so when you find problems in your life, you need to push through it. Think of it as a boss in a video game, like that Minotaur boss that I faced in Dark Souls. You need to try again. You need to reiterate. You need to improve your skill levels. And then once you beat that boss, you can move on to the next level. And you will get a little bit more success in life. You will get unstuck for a while. And then you hit another ceiling of your skill level. And now you reach this level instead of this level. And once again, you need to improve your skills. You need to improve your own traits. Think of yourself as both the player as well as the character. You can get better through your own skills as the player, or you can level up your skills. And as you do those things, now you can get higher and higher and higher. The second thing, which is adjacent to this, is to not dilute yourself in thinking you're better than you actually are. Because if you were all that you think of yourself, you would already be well on your way to achieving your goals. Meaning there is a false sense of competency. In Dark Souls, I got to this point when I'm like, yeah, I rock, I can do this. But then I got to a new area. There were new bosses, new monsters, and I failed utterly again. And there was just the game pushing right into my face that, Michael, you're not as good as you think you are. And again, I had to reskill, re-level up both myself as the player as well as the character. And that happens in life as well. Once you solve one problem, you need to continuously improve without thinking you're better than you actually are. If the golden rule for this is that if you don't yet have what it is that you want to achieve, you are not yet good enough to achieve that. You first of all need to become the person capable of achieving a certain goal before you can actually achieve that goal, that outcome. So don't fool yourself into thinking arrogantly that you know it all. That's a mistake that I made as well. I, at some points in my life, thought, you know what, I know everything here. But then I fail, and I fail again, and I fail again. And I've got to like scratch my head and say, you know what, maybe I don't know that much at all. And it's a learning curve, a learning process. So that's crucial. Have some humility. In a video game, that is easy to see, because you constantly get that screen of you died, you died, you died. Life is more subtle, so you can sometimes get by without realizing that there is a skill issue at play. Now, the third thing adjacent to this is you've got to constantly broaden your horizons, broaden your scope, and try new strategies. Einstein once said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So going back to the video game, I know there have been times when I tried beating a boss, and like for 5 times in a row, I was utterly, and I mean utterly, annihilated. And then the 6th time, I try something different. I try a different strategy, and somehow it gets better results. And then I still fail, but I got further than I got before. And now I can reiterate upon the new strategy. So for me, one of my hypotheses is that if I produce high quality and valuable content for you and share it with the right audience, eventually I will succeed at this game of YouTube. Now, part of that I haven't figured out yet. I haven't yet figured out the strategy to share it with the right people to get discovered. But that is my hypothesis, that if I do those things, I will grow. At some point, maybe parts of that theory will get disproven. But once you start forming an hypothesis of, if I do X, Y will happen. Now you can go and you can experiment. Now you can try new strategies to get to that point. But you need to start forming a plan in order to execute on that. That is crucial. And as a quick bonus tip before I go to the 4th element here, is that sometimes you need some guidance. Because when I was fighting that Minotaur boss in Dark Souls, I got my ass handed to me like 20 or 30 times. And then as I was streaming at the time, someone in the stream told me, hey, go and climb up that tower and then do a jump attack off of it once it's underneath you. And then repeat that process. And I tried it, and the first time around, I actually managed to defeat that boss. So over here, I've got 30 times when I used the wrong strategy and didn't get results. Over there was 1 attempt with the right strategy that got the results that I wanted. So the lesson here is that sometimes you just need that coach, that mentor, someone who can help you to reach that next level. If that's something you're interested in, I've got a free newsletter that I publish 2 times a week on Mondays and Thursdays, where you will get actionable tips to take your life from where you are right now to where you truly want to go. So if that interests you, click the link below this video, get on the newsletter, it's absolutely free, and you will see big improvements from doing that. Now, the 4th thing then is to not cheese it. Because I, in Dark Souls, had a few bosses where there were some cheese strategies to make it easier. In life, those actually exist as well. For example, a couple of years ago, some people got extremely rich because they gambled on crypto and it paid off. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put all my money on PooCoin. Like really? Like, Some people there got lucky. However, so most of those people also lost all of their money again on some other gambles. And because they tried to cheese life, they haven't learned any real lessons. So for example, if you build a business up to a certain level and you lose everything in life, you can get back to that same level. Just like when I replayed Dark Souls again, I easily first time beat that Minotaur boss, and I beat a lot of other bosses as well the first time around because I had the skills. So when you try to take the shortcut in life, you will ultimately fail. Because even if you succeed, that success is probably not going to last very long. You see this, for example, with lottery winners. Their wealth goes up through the roof, and because they don't know how to build wealth, how to manage wealth, they go down again. And they lose everything within like 2, 3, 4 years. That's the same thing that happens when you take the shortcut. So rather than doing that, focus on your improvement, focus on your skills, focus on your character traits, building discipline, being kind, being genuine, seeking out wisdom, being curious. Those are things that will help you move forward and stay at that level because you have the right skills in place that took you from where you were to where you wanted to go. And even if you start all the way back at square zero, you still know how to get back to that point. That is what life is about. You constantly face endless levels in life. And sometimes you can play different mini games by going in a different career, by trying for a different goal. But in every one of those, you need to go from the level where you are at right now to where you want to go. Every other thing you try has a learning curve attached to it. And the only thing you can really do is focus on you. Focus on your own growth. Focus on what really matters. That's why I have this poster behind me. It's not just a background for these kinds of videos. I have it as a reminder to me to focus on what I can do. That is the crucial element. And if you want to go even further with your personal development journey, what is crucial is that you start measuring your progress, start measuring what you are doing on a daily basis and how you can improve. And for that, there's a document that I personally use as well to really think about, these are my goals for today. And then tomorrow I evaluate, did I do those? On today's basis, I evaluate, how am I showing up with my energy? How am I doing socially? How am I doing in terms of my health and fitness? How am I doing in terms of my relationships, my wealth, my finance, my career, my discipline? And I track myself on all of these items on the list, because that way I keep myself accountable. That is the crucial part. There's a story about people who try to lose weight, where one group in the experiment was told to follow a certain diet, and the other group was told to do nothing, except to write down how many calories they got every single day. And the group that lost the most was the people who wrote down their calories. That's because what gets measured gets improved. So if you want to really take your life to that next level, below this video, next to the link to my newsletter, there's also going to be a link to a free download and a free training with which you can get more done in a week than most people do in a month. It's going to give you access to this same self-evaluation form and some guiding training on how you can get way more out of yourself. So go ahead, get on the newsletter, get that free training, and I'll see you inside of those resources.